All right, welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be reviewing a very hyped up Black Widow Mania. So a little bit about it. Obviously, Black Widow core, gas mask core, pearl cover stock. So the last release was the 3.0 last year, and then before that was the 2.0 hybrid. I don't have my 3.0 here with me. I did leave it in Hong Kong last time I bowled in the Hong Kong Open, but I do have my 2.0 hybrid. This one is the overseas version. It is also our own 900 Pro Shop tribute ball. So we have this to compare with. The cover stock is actually known as the Effect cover stock. So I also brought my original Effect here as well. This is the Hammer Effect. So it's a combination of this cover in this core. So a lot of things to be hyped out about. Really love this ball. Really love the Widow core. And then just a little bit, maybe throw a couple of shots here just to see for the other Brunswick fans. I do also have a Vaporize here with an ASIM Pearl that we can compare to as well, just to see how the shape is. So let me get some shots of the Mania. So far, it is a good house shot ball because it just creates so much angle. It does get me a little too deep too early if I start with it, so it's probably a good game 3, game 4 ball. Because I bowl in a 4-game league. Realistically speaking, it could even be a game 2 or game 3 ball, depending on who you play with and stuff like that. So I'm gonna start really deep right now because it is a pretty broken down house shot here. Probably around 30 at the of my feet. Let's just go 32. I'm gonna cross 20, give it some room. I know this ball's gonna hook into friction. See what happens. Missed it right. I missed that to like 17 and it came back, so that almost came back from like 3 at the break point. So that's what I mean. If you get that ball out to the friction, it's gonna hook. It's almost like turn off your eyes and just throw it right. But that wasn't a good shot. Let's just throw a better one. Got away with that one for sure. Get it out there again. That's when I actually tried to get it out there, just to what happened last time, just to throw it better. So if I'm trying to get it that far right, it is a little too deep because even the one I missed, I got mixers. This one, pretty light into the pocket. It is going relatively further down lane than most of my other stuff. So I just need this ball pretty much to slow down 2 feet earlier, just to get a better shape in my opinion. Let's try moving right first, just to be in the friction a little sooner. I'm still trying to hit 17 then. See what happens when it gets out there. There you go. So yeah, I moved like 3 right. Hit 16 there, just missed my target a little bit to the right, but get it out there to 3. It is gonna face up the right way. It did face up like that foot or 2 sooner like I wanted it to, and that's why I kind of looked much better at the pocket. So I'm gonna throw a couple more, and then we're gonna try chasing it left with some maybe hand position adjustments or anything like that, but kind of like the way that one looked. That was a much better shot actually for that 10 pin. One thing I really like about this ball is this ball. It just hooks. I don't have to really like be scared of it not hooking. Sometimes it's like if I need to see the ball miss the spot, that's the only thing. It's just coming in too sharp, but it still tries to come back every time. Right? I'm more forward with it just so I could play it because other than that, it might just be too sharp. Kicked out to 710 there, so that's a little break there. But yeah, this ball wants to really corner. It really likes to hook. A ball I don't have that I might compare it with just by seeing it, I didn't have too many games with it, but is the Theorem Pearl. So the track Theorem Pearl kind of gives me very, very similar shapes in terms of the people I've seen throwing it. Looks like it really is willing to pick up even Indie Oil if I have to get it a little left, but I just know this ball likes to truck back when I get it right. Yeah, get it left, get it right. It just looks like it's just hooking. Feel like I can miss with this ball, doesn't matter. Just kind of, as long as it hit friction, as long as the ball starts up, it's gonna want to hook. So as long as I got my speed on it, on a house shot, it's probably gonna do the right thing. All right, let's try getting left with it again. And instead of missing right like I did in the first couple of shots here, gonna try to play a little tighter, see what happens in the middle. Okay, so that's the one. So that's the one where you get it in the middle of the oil, in the middle of the lane, didn't get it out to the friction early enough, and it just actually just skidded out. So it didn't even come off the spot hard enough to make it. That's what I would say right now with my limited time with the ball is this ball needs a little friction. If I really wanted to play it there, what I could do is always put some surface on it. But now that I also have the 3D offset assault to complement the ball, it's more or less, I'm gonna go start with the 3D offset assault and then kind of move into this ball anyway, because it's a good transition kind of ball to go into when I want to hug left. What I can do probably is also add a little rotation to the ball, just to see and slow it down, just to get it to corner, even in the oil, and see what happens when I do that. Rotation, slow down. Yeah, so slow down, added rotation, kept it in the middle. Looks like it wants to corner again, and that's the beauty of this ball is if I give it the right kind of hand position, as long as it starts up, it doesn't look like it's gonna stop, and that's why I left the 4-pin. So pretty much the trick for me, if I had to use this ball by the looks of it, is where's the friction, find it, hit it, and then kind of just watch it do its thing right to left. I'll throw one good one, and then I'm gonna throw a comparison shot with something else. Stay left with it. Rotation, get it right. Okay. Add the rotation, get it right. Slow down a little bit because I'm deeper, and it does the right thing. So let's compare it with the same core. It is a different layout. It is a pin down versus my pin up right now on my Mania. It does have a lot more games on this ball. When I threw this hybrid 2.0, my review on it, realistically speaking, was it was clean like a pearl, but it's kind of smooth, and that's kind of where the hybrid kind of kicks in, smooth like a solid. So it doesn't really hook a lot right to left, and that's kind of why I was like, oh, it's got its use. It's kind of keeps the angle a lot tighter. But let me try to throw the same shot there first. I'm assuming this one doesn't pop back from the right like it does with the Mania. Yeah, so you can see that it's a lot slower, picked up in the mid lane a lot sooner, and it stayed more forward, and then you don't see that quick right to left change of direction with it like the Mania did, and that's kind of what the hybrid kind of was for me. Really good ball in terms of trying to get the mid lane reading, and you still need something clean to get it there. I'm gonna throw one more. Get it right. Yeah, and you see how mellow it is coming back into the lane, or into the pocket. So that's what I mean. It's just overall a little bit slower than the Mania, and the Mania just got that much more energy retained right to left. So obviously the core's the same core, so I can see the shape is really similar. So I can line up on top of each other, and it's not kind of completely off the charts in terms of the hook potential or how much it's trying to cover boards right to left or anything like that. So that's more of like the cover stock, maybe even the wear and tear on the ball to see the transition of the shape. Next, I'm gonna do the cover stock match, the hammer effect. If you don't know, this is my third one, so that's why I kind of really like this piece. I'm gonna throw the first shot through the Mania first, see what happens. It is a bigger core. It's gonna be closer to what I think the Widow's gonna do. It is slower because it's a bigger core, because it's gonna try to pick up the lanes a little sooner. But let's see it. Right, and then you can see the core just standing up a lot sooner. Not really right to left as well. Kind of similar to what that 2.0 hybrid was doing, but to me it's even sooner. Covers less boards, so I like this ball because on a lot of sport conditions that we bowl on, in the challenge patterns and all that stuff, you want balls to kind of not miss the mid lane, where we can always fidget around with the cover stocks on the surface and we need to sand it down, polish it up, hand position changes and all that. But when I need a ball to read the mid lane, that's why it's there. It's such a big ball, such a big core. Ball stands up really good. The pearl cover stock gets it a little further down lane than the other stuff. And when I'm looking for entry angle compared to my solids, this one usually goes. So I'm gonna move left to where the Mania was. Let's see what it does when I get it a little tighter. right? If I get it in there, you can see the ball's too slow to get it back. I probably do need to feed this either into the friction more or just slow it down a little more, but overall the right to left hook is not like the Mania. If I had to play this ball, I probably need to, if I want the ball to look pretty much stronger off the spot, I probably need to get it into the friction, add a little speed to it to hold it. So I'm actually moving right off the Mania just because I know this ball shouldn't hook as much because it's stronger. And when we say that, it's because stronger balls don't actually hook more, it hooks earlier. And that's why off the spot, it's not going to do as much. So that's why I might actually move a little right, but I need to keep the speed up or else the ball will roll out. And that's pretty much all it is. I moved around 4 right, kept the speed higher, got the ball out into the friction a little sooner, get it to stand up, and get it to kind of do its thing. It's not as sharp as a move of the Mania. And just for reference sake, this is what happened if I would have moved right with the Mania. I'm gonna move 4 right like I did with the Effect. It's because right now that ball is saving so much energy. As soon as it feeds off that friction, it's trying to go right to left so hard. And you can tell because the layout on this ball is actually the same between the Effect and the Mania as well. I kind of copied that one over. So when that ball reaches the friction, you can just see it wants to really take off right to left. And that's what I mean by sometimes the stronger ball actually hooks less, but I also got to make sure I got to keep the speed up or else it'll look like it's going to roll out. Last one to compare with, same layout as well, Vaporize. This one's one of the partners in the shops, not mine, but I've thrown it a couple times and I really, really like it. I just have way too many ASIMs to drill another one and keep one in my bag. I'm going to throw one where I started with a Mania, 30 my feet, see what happens. Right, really, really sharp ball, especially for a Brunswick ball. A lot of people like to say like Brunswick balls are a lot slower. Doesn't really hook, but the Mesmerize and the Vaporize, which came out together at the same time, those balls actually felt like it's been the most right to left Brunswick balls I've thrown in a while. But this Vaporize is pretty good too. So, knowing that I sharp 9-pin, I'm just gonna move left to where the Mania was when I got really deep. Actually gonna not slow down and see what happens when I get this right. So I moved like enough 4 left, didn't slow down, so I kept the speed. Tried to really rip on it though, and it barely made it back, but it did. That's kind of you're playing too deep, going through the oil way too clean, missed the friction like a foot earlier than it should. Still did its thing. Throw one last one in between the 2 spots, so 2 left of where the Mania is. That's exactly it. So that's where I would put that ball, kind of a little bit earlier, but just as sharp as the Mania if I had to compare. And then if I had to put the Widow 2.0 hybrid, I'd probably say this one's probably the little bit smoother version of the Mania. So if you're looking and you have the red and black, this is the exact same ball. If you have a red and black 2.0 hybrid and you're looking at how it compares to the Mania, I will say the Mania is probably going to cover more boards. It's a little bit harder to control, but it's what you need when you kind of get left and you need to retain more energy. And then the Effect, if you want to compare that, Effect's just a bigger ball, bigger core, and it wants to stand up a lot sooner. So it might cover less boards, but when you're in the volume or you're in the oil or you're trying to kind of jam it or control the break point a lot easier, then the Effect's going to do its job because it's going to stand up and kind of stabilize and set in there. Rather than Mania, it's more made to move left, throw right. You're going to hook this ball. This ball's going to just want to hook. So I'm going to throw a couple more with it, but I'm going to just move left and throw right. Ooh, got away with that one. Did not throw it right. That one's kind of like right in that no man's land there. Got it to like 10 instead of like 7 or 5. Or one better than that. That was way better. All right, one more and we'll wrap it up. there we go. All right, let's wrap it up. Thanks for watching, guys.